Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Hank Russell invitation. Tonight's guest, I've been kind of, I haven't heard about this guy in about 20 years or so, and he's got a very magnetic personality. I saw him many years ago on the TV show Tough Enough on MTV, and then I found out he was doing like mixed martial arts fighting, and I started following him randomly about a year ago. Well, a couple months ago, I reached out to him, and he graciously decided to come on and talk to me. And we've been planning this for about the past 6 weeks. And gosh, man, what a great guy to talk to. And we've talked to him. I've talked to him several times on the phone, and what an honor to have him here. And interesting thing about the film industry right now is that it's been going through some things over the past few weeks, and I'm sure that he'll want to express himself about this as well because it's going to affect him personally right now and for the next few weeks. But without further ado, his name is Hawk Younkins. Hawk, hello, sir.
How's it going, Hank? Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, of course, man. So all right. By the way, elephant in the room, real quick. How's your shoulder doing?
Yeah, so it's hard to tell, but for the viewers, you can see the
Mm-hmm.
brace. So get there. Yeah, so no longer in a sling, so that's better. Just I guess to give the viewers and the listeners a recap. So I'm training at the gym,
Go ahead.
and I dis I dislocated my shoulder and partially tore. I always mispronounce it. The coracoa comial. God, I'm saying that wrong. Ligament. It's basically the MCL of your shoulder. It's a partial tear, so it's a grade one, so it'll repair on its own. Just with rest and PT and recovery and so on. So no surgery needed. But obviously the shoulder is back in place. But yeah, I can tell the viewers out there that dislocating your shoulder is not fun. It's
Yeah.
not. I don't recommend it.
No, I don't blame you. So, all right. So when we were talking on the phone when we first talked, you've been around the movie industry for the majority of your adult life, correct?
Correct. And honestly, I've been around. I mean, obviously, and as a teenager and stuff. Probably my first role. Childhood acting. As a teenager, and or actually not even teenager, preteen in several movies. And but like a lot of local kid commercials and stuff like that. So it's been it's yeah,
What?
20 or something years. So I mean, it's like there's no other industry that I think I could have found myself in other than something involving entertainment and
Cor- Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you try out for the part of Colossus in 2003? Was it or two?
it's so yeah, with X-Men. Yeah, so I was, I guess, the finalist, and it went to a guy. It went to what's his name? I want to say Daniel Cudmore, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
It was like pretty much him and me, and I guess, and I hate to say it, because they were filming in Vancouver, and they have like rules that like you have to hire so many Canadian actors. So at least enough that he did a great job. He was a great Colossus, and he's been in multiple other projects, and I've seen him. He's a great actor, amazing talent. But I was kind of told that like it was kind of a numbers issue. Like we gotta, and there was a little bit of a smaller role in that film, so they're like, yeah, we need we have to hire so many Canadians, and so
Yeah.
I got axed, and he got the role. So I should have changed my citizenship to Canada, and I would have gotten the role.
Hey, well, to be fair though, 15 years later he got replaced by CGI. So there you go. I mean, in Deadpool.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, it's well. Speaking of which, it sounds like we're all trying to get replaced by CGI and AI now.
Oh
so.
gosh, man. So yeah, I was going to ask a couple more, but let's get into it about the film.
No. You know what? Like, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I don't want to.
I just
screw with your train of thought.
No. I mean, I'll ask about the wrestling stuff towards the end, and the MMA stuff towards the end. But I was just curious, man. Like, I Wikipedia'd you, and we talked about this on the phone, and Wikipedia got some of your information wrong. How, what movies have you made cameos in that probably people would know, or
Oh
have
my
you?
gosh. Probably my IMDb is most up to date, but you name it from Rampage to, I'm kind of going with the most recent, like, I'm in 688, which is a Tyler Perry directed. Got to work with him.
Hmm.
That'll be out on Netflix next year. It's a World War II drama. It's a true story.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. I mean, everything. Game Night. Iris at Rampage. Everything from um, oh God, the game. Paramount Plus. I mean, it becomes. I think my total resume as of now is 29 movies and something like 35 TV shows, something in that retrospect.
Have you have you been able to do this full time? For the or have you had jobs along the way?
Outside of like the career in MMA and when I was wrestling, I kind of stepped away from the film industry for about a year in 2017. I took a job behind the scenes working for 5280 Media out in Denver, Colorado, and I moved there and kind of just took I think every actor, every performer goes through it, and that's what I was kind of out there, putting more time and energy into my MMA career. Fight Factory X, 303, and so like you name it, like so many amazing fighters live in and train in Denver because of the altitude. And so I kind of that's where I wanted to put my energy in my life, and I just needed a change of scenery. Love Denver, and Colorado is just it's in my heart. And so and then I kind of went back, in full time in the industry, 2019. Actually, so funny thing is, and uh, what kind of reignited my passion for the film. I went through 5 auditions for Creed 2 to play Ivan Drago's son, and it ended up going to the one guy. He's from like the Czech Republic or something. I can't think of his name, but he played,
Mm.
and he fights, Michael B. Jordan and stuff. And it really came down to him and me, and I think one other guy. And same thing. It's just a numbers game. Like there's 100 guys that finish in second place, and there's one winner. For each role, and that's just the way it is. But they were like, oh God, you just look like Yvonne, like you would be Dolph Lundgren's son. And so it came down to it. And I guess they thought, well, this guy has like a legitimate background in like amateur boxing and bodybuilding, and your background's more MMA, and so technically it's a boxing movie, and he's Austrian, or Czech, and so he has the accent, and so that's pretty much was the deciding factor, and then with him, but he did a great role, and then I ended up getting a small role in Creed 3 and working with Michael B, and I was like, yeah, man, I was like, we were, he directed Creed 3, and I was like, I was supposed to fight you, and I ended up playing kind of mafia bookie. When in a flashback scene, I was kind of one of the mafia bookie guys. Like controlling the money, and like in the director's cut, my scene is extended. But so it was a small but fun role, and I enjoyed it. So at least I got to work with Michael B and all them. Event, anyway, on Creed 3, but it was a shame that Stallone wasn't a part of it.
Right, I get it. That would have been kind of cool just to be in his presence. I mean, it's I
Oh,
mean,
nicest, classiest guy in the world.
oh, so you've met him.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we were directing with because he directed it. So the scenes that I'm in are in the flashback scenes involving him as like his character as a young teenager. For those who haven't seen the movie, like there's like flashback scenes, and so but Michael B. Not only did he play Adonis, but he directed that film. Uh,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. I
and
didn't know
so
that.
it was great. It was an amazing experience getting to work with him, and we had a few good laughs. Him, me, and Stitch Durant. The cut
Yeah.
man. Who was with UFC, and now he's Tyson Fury's cut man,
Y-
Jake Paul, and all that. So we had some
Right.
good laughs.
Right. I mean, and Jonathan Majors, did you get to meet him?
Got to meet Jonathan, and obviously nicest guy. I mean, when I met him, nicest guy in the world. Obviously, that whole situation, he's going through some
Yeah.
legalities right now, and I'm not one to speculate on the accuracy of them. It just wouldn't be my place.
Right.
I if it's true, it's a darn shame. If it's false, then I'm glad that his name was cleared because, like I said, my time with him, he could not have been nicer to me. But again, you just wonder, and nowadays, as they say, you have two ears, two eyes, and one mouth, and like believe only half of what you hear and see, and like believe only half of what you hear, and the internet only makes it that much worse. How it's like it's become this twisted, really toxic, vicious version of the telephone game we played as kids. The internet just expands and the untruths out there, and so who knows what to believe nowadays. I
Yeah.
mean, we
No,
have people on Earth that think the Earth is still flat.
well, it's funny when I hear people say about the earth is flat. The reason why I don't believe the earth is flat is because I mean, the moon or the moon landing or whatever. It's like, okay, I believe that the moon landing is real because you can't shut 11,000 people's mouths up and say it's not, And then if you're on
Yeah,
the moon anyway, then you can see that the earth is clearly round. So there you go. It's, I don't know. I mean, it's Kyrie.
I've seen people get into the arguments with the flat earthers, and it's just amazing. It's not like somebody who thinks they saw a UFO, where they're like, no, like I saw something in the sky, and I saw a
Mm-hmm.
UFO, or I saw Bigfoot, or I saw a ghost. Where you're thinking, okay, maybe you saw something, and it's like they really believe. I mean, they really, really believe the Earth is flat, and you think to yourself, where are you getting this? Like, what Kool-Aid are you drinking?
I'm,
Why?
I'm,
I mean, the past 500 years, our history, we've been able to prove that it's not flat. Where, how is it that you've gone back to like the 1100s and you think you're flat?
yeah. I mean, I get it, but I believe in maybe Bigfoot, and I maybe believe in aliens because I can't prove that they're not. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I, you know, nowadays, I'm sure a Bigfoot will be the new big news story. But now with all these UFO sightings and all this documents and footage being declassified and the congressional hearings and all the whistleblowers and Area 51, is legitimate. We have aliens, we have UFOs, and my one sense and putting some faith in that is the fact that you look at the technological advancements of our society, how much we've advanced as as a culture, as a society, as a species in the past 100 years, 100, pretty much since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, how much we've advanced in the past 100 years versus the past 1,000, 2,000 years before that.
yes. Well, I will say this. I'm trying to think how to explain it. Seeing is believing in my eyes. That's the simple way of putting it. And things like that. And when it comes to things like that, I wish I had a better intellectual, longer answer than that. But seeing is believing in cases like that. That's just me. But oh, by the way, what do you what's going on with you? So, are you producing a film here coming up?
So,
I'm
and
curious because I know it goes along with that strike.
yeah, so mainly my background now, my professional endeavors. I've moved from being like the chef in the kitchen to like the restaurant or hotel manager in a sense. My analogy. So I'm kind of moving from being in front of the screen to the producer writer role. Um, and so actually I have several movies that are now in the final stages of development. And by development, to give the viewers, the listeners, a crash course, real quick, explanation. We're in the final stages of green lighting our funding. And I can say this: when you are on the independent side of things, and of course these films will be distributed by major studios, but raising really hundreds of millions of dollars, you can imagine, especially in this economy, is, you might as well be trying to, plan a mission to the moon. Honestly,
Are you raising? Have you raised that kind of money?
we've raised, so we're in the fight. We have raised the money. We without, I'm signed. I'm kind of gag ordered by certain NDAs and so on, so I can't say a whole lot. But there's some final checks and balances process. I mean, we're talking in the next few business days, like, by Labor Day, that should be a done deal in terms of our, the financial windfall.
Right.
And of course, then begins pre-production, and of course, it's several films and a TV show. And the TV show, which I'm more than happy to jump into, is a TV show called gotta you know. Anyway, the TV show is called House of Fame, and it's set in the world of mixed martial arts. And basically, and again, there's multiple projects, but I don't want to confuse listeners in saying, "Oh, let's talk about this project, that project," because then people are just going to get the information confused. So we'll just speculate on that. Let me back up. The first project that will be up and running out of the gates, that's in pre-production. I mean, I was even on like a multi-hour Zoom call this morning, going over a lot of the logistics and stuff. The prop list, the character list. I mean, a lot of these things that go into the pre-production notes and stuff. Preparing for a film, a very large-scale, multi-million-dollar film. It's called Out of Darkness. Like right now, because of because of the strike and everything, I can't say who's in it. But and hopefully very soon I can, because we're going to be making an official press announcement with Entertainment Weekly, Variety, Deadline. So obviously I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but trust me,
Oh,
multiple big name A-listers that if I start name dropping, people are being like, "Oh my God, I love so and so," and but obviously, the strike could change a little bit of things, and so, like I said, I can't name drop yet, but it's
I,
really big names, and this film, Out of Darkness, God willing, and we'll dive into the strike in a second. If the strike ends fairly soon, we'll be, and we've already applied for a SAG waiver. Hopefully, if we're approved, we're up and running, and we'll be filming here in Atlanta, Georgia. Um,
yeah.
but it will come out sometime in 2024. Obviously, if and so like I said, once I can make that announcement, the TV show will come after that in terms of production.
Yeah.
But yes, so basically to answer your question, I'm on the production and writing side of things now.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. And I'm just curious because gosh, it's piquing my curiosity now, and I'm glad to see that something is kind of taking off. So this is kind of like a new milestone for you, right?
Oh, this is so same industry, basically in a lot of ways it's like moving from football player to football coach in front office, general
Mm-hmm.
man, because when people think, what does a producer do? If you
Well,
think of like a general manager of a NFL team or an NHL team or Major League Baseball, etc., that's pretty much a lot of the front office stuff, all the big, and then the term executive producer would basically be like the team owner or something, and the director is the head coach, and you get the idea of the analogies. But
yeah.
in a sense, it's like a lot of the WWE guys, when they go from being agents, I'm sorry, wrestlers to like road
Eight.
agents and
Mm-hmm.
and backstage, and so that's kind of what I'm doing. Like that's the analogy. There's the
No, I
the
get it.
connecting of the dots.
And I've been in broadcasting for years, and so I mean, the thing about it is this podcast is obviously kind of new to me, but I've been around broadcasting most of my life, and one thing I have noticed is that when I talk to people such as yourselves, is that you may have started at a certain point, but if you kept with it, then it would naturally progress to maybe where the direction that you maybe not always want to be in. Like Clint Eastwood wants to act in films, but the majority of the time he's producing and directing them now. And so it may put you, I don't know if that's the position that you want to be in constantly, but at the same time, it's probably the position you need to be in at this point in your life. Am I right?
You are correct, because what I love about writing and producing, one, like, age will never have a factor. You'll never be too old or not good looking enough or not like where you think about a football player, but like at some point your body just, you're not at the top of
Right.
your game anymore. Same with fighting or wrestling, where behind the scenes you can do it for till the end of time.
Right.
And then again, like I said, you look at Schwarzenegger and Stallone and like they're, I mean, my God, in their 70s and they're still going strong in action
Yes.
movies and stuff. So it's like there's hope for all. I mean, God, Tom Cruise and his God, what is he now? 60? I think he's 60, literally 60, 61.
Still doing action
And I mean,
films.
yeah, I mean, you look. I think he was like 59 when he filmed it. And maybe I'm off by like 1 year or something, but maybe he was 58 or whatever. But the point is, you see what he's doing in Mission Impossible, and the last one that came out this summer. And I mean, it's just you keep your body in shape. Live a healthy lifestyle. You take care of yourself.
Mhm.
And you have supplement. And when I say supplements, some people mean steroids, some mean just like proper supplements. But like, so a thing about me is I hardly ever drink. I don't smoke. Um,
Yeah.
I try to eat almost all organic, as much as possible. I stay
Uh,
away from sugar and sweets and lots of
yeah.
I mean, I live a very healthy lifestyle, and so
I, I,
I think I'll live a very long, healthy life.
I hope the
Other than
same.
dislocating shoulders and
I mean, believe me, I need to follow your example as far as the diet and stuff like that. My thing is that I'm assuming that your profession kind of kept you motivated with that anyway, or you know,
it it's that, and it generally helps. Just you look at, and you just feel better. You sleep better. You
yeah,
feel better. You have more energy. Like, I
right.
think your mind works. And I'll say this, I think a motivating factor in wanting to. Nobody wants to say this. It sounds vain. It never helps, and women believe in this, you know, to a T. It never helps to not look good for the opposite sex, or I mean, or for the same. I mean, whatever person's your
Yeah,
lifestyle is, but I don't want
yeah.
to.
I always tell
I don't
women I
want to
have
be
a 10.
prejudiced.
I always tell women I have a 10-inch personality, so don't even worry about it. But but I can't,
But like on a good day, it's an 11-inch personality.
yeah, exactly. It's just no, it's I crack myself up. But I get it. I've talked to many people that have, like, I was talking to Austin Aries back in, I think it was like February or something like that. And the guy's in his mid 40s and moves like he's still like 30. It's just, and it's a lot of it is contributed to his diet.
Yeah,
He didn't live the, I don't know if any other recreational or anything like that. I didn't ask him and I'm not going to, but I don't know. I mean, he's proof positive that sometimes you can turn back the clock for a little bit longer depending on your lifestyle. And you live in Atlanta too, right?
temporarily.
Temporarily.
I'll be back on the west in the West Coast, probably as soon as we finish filming the movie, because the TV
Okay.
show I'm planning, it's still a little up in the air on the location, but planning to film in Phoenix and or Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah. So you're in some pretty big market towns, so you have access to this knowledge and information as far as, like, what it is that you're supposed to do to be able to keep up with this type of lifestyle, as far as, like, filming, production, eating correctly, all this stuff. Because Atlanta is like the second biggest market in the country now, and then Phoenix, Arizona is not a small market. We're talking to like
Number 4.
number four. Is it the number 4 now?
It's 4 or 5. It's 4 or 5.
I wonder what I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have probably put Atlanta in that. or not Atlanta, but Dallas in that category. But then again, I don't know. I mean, Phoenix is.
I think because and Dallas. I think because if you include Fort Worth and that in Arlington, then maybe that would make Dallas a bigger market because it is the metroplex. Whereas, and I guess if you include the Phoenix Tucson metroplex, then also that would make it just as equally big.
So,
we live, I was gonna say, I was just gonna say we live in interesting times. I mean, here in Atlanta yesterday. I mean, and believe me, you and I don't want to turn this into a political conversation, but like Donald Trump just was in Atlanta yesterday to turn himself into the jail, and like he actually got a mug. And I think I saw his it's Truth Social or Twitter or something. His account, his profile picture.
What?
Is his mugshot. Like they actually convinced the jail to like email him his mugshot. Like he's trolling. His mugshot is his profile picture. And I saw it released on the news.
Yeah, dude, I was saying that they should shave his head because of the lice, right? You're supposed to shave your head when you go to prison to prevent lice. I mean,
I just know this. Like, I didn't know. Like, if I end up in jail one night, God forbid, knock on wood. I hope I don't. If I do end up in jail one night, I'm gonna have to ask the jail, like, hey, can I get a copy of that? That's a great headshot. Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah, you're gonna do the
Zoolander. We do photo shoots in here.
You're gonna do the Zoolander.
Yeah, can I do my mug shot would be blue steel. Blue steel mug shot.
I can't imagine. I mean, look, if I go to prison, I can't imagine. Oh man, Jesus! I mean,
I could just see a cat. I would. You know what? If somebody auditioned for the TV show or the movie, and they came in, and I don't care what role. If they turned into Headshot and they did the audition, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, who shot this? Like, oh, that's my mugshot from jail. I'd be like, I'm hiring this guy.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll find a role for him. Like, I'm like, I would find something. I don't care if it's like a janitor and he has too long. I would be like, you're hired just for the balls of, you're hired.
Dude, telling you, man. Oh, by the way, I know we got into the strike already, or did we not?
We brushed up against it.
Well, it doesn't have to be too long because it's we've known like. So the strike is supposed to end in mid-September, right?
So, I'll back up, because we kind of, like I said, we just skimmed the surface. So,
okay,
for all the listeners, everyone out there, so it's actually a double strike, which it sounds goofy. It sounds like a video game or something,
Yeah.
So pretty much. There are multiple unions with Hollywood. You have like the Teamsters who drive all the trucks and the equipment and stuff, and then you have IATSE. That basically they draw. They're the hair, wardrobe, the set builders. I mean, really, the people behind the scenes that are real magic makers that like bring the movie to life. That like they create everything you see on the screen. They're amazing.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to every member, all the Teamsters and all the IATSE, because they're caught in the middle of this war.
Yeah, a lot of guys with valves.
It's just, and they got to feed their families, and it's just, and it's extremely, So there's a lot of politics going on behind the scenes on all this. So but the main three, the three glory unions. There's the Writers Guild, so you can think of every we're talking like, just example, like Matt Groening, who created The Simpsons, or like Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy, etc. It's Aaron Sorkin, so that's the Writers Guild. And then you have the Directors Guild, like James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, Rich Rodriguez and stuff, and the list goes on, and
Mm-hmm.
Or Clint Eastwood and so on. And the Directors Guild actually struck a deal with the studio. So basically, every 3 years, the unions we have a collective bargaining agreement, and so like almost all professions, like the NFLPA has one with the owners, the NBA, the NHL, major, and so there's there eventually their collective bargain agreement comes to an end, and when it's near the end, they enter negotiations for the next 4 or 5 years and so on. So as of now, the unions, directors, writers, and actors, they have theirs set for 3 years on 3-year increments. So it was like 2014, 2017. The last agreement that was agreed upon was June 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. And I think a lot of these issues that were supposed to come up then were kind of tabled because we were in the middle of a pandemic. I mean, really, not even the middle. We were at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I think, and the whole industry, the whole world was shut down. So they were like, well, now's not, and I almost feel like that's when the actors and everyone should have gone on strike because they think, hey, the industry's shut down, but I guess they thought it won't do any good because it's shut down anyway. We can't really go on strike, so we might as well just agree to it terms, and then we'll bring it up on the next contract. So here we are, 2023. And the writers' agreement ended on May 1st. So on May 2nd, so you're not allowed to strike before the end of the agreement. So literally, like at the stroke of midnight, going into May 2nd, the writers went on strike, and that's all including like all the late night shows, like the Saturday Night Live, and
Right.
the Tonight Show, and and so on.
Well, that's how any union works, though. You can't actually strike until the infraction actually happens.
Yeah, until the agreement ends. And so negotiations fell through, and then on June 30th, technically the actors. So that's everyone. That's me, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, whatever, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Every actor you could think of, they're in SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, and the actors, they extended the negotiation because the 4th of July, they extended it to July 12th, and then so on the 13th, the actors went on strike. We had a strike vote, and so now you have two totally different unions on strike together. And for the writers, I think we're now at day 116. 115, 116, 117. But it's a lot. It's been well over 3 months. We're coming up on almost 4 months.
Right. I looked at the numbers before, so I mean, I forgot what they were, but I know it was pushing 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, we're well over 3. We're almost at 4 months, and so for the writers, this includes me and stuff. We're negotiating, and there's so many logistics, but basically. And the actors and the writers, there are some logistical differences between the two unions in terms of what their needs are. Like, a lot of the writers, it's the writers' room, like, a minimum number of writers, a minimum number of guarantees, because the world is changing. Writers used to be hired and they would, write 20 episodes for Seinfeld or, Friends or you name it, whatever, Married with Children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now we've gotten into this day and age of streaming where, you get 8, 10, 12 episodes of House of Cards or,
Game of Thrones,
whatever, Ozarks, et cetera. And so they want, they're thinking, okay, and longer episodes. So it's almost like you're doing the same amount of work, but less episodes. So they're like, hey, the pay needs to be reflective of that. And of course, as we know, we're stuck in an inflation crisis and the cost of living. So naturally, the writers and the actors, and I know to the general public, they all think like, well, isn't every actor and writer out there like a multi-millionaire like Ben Affleck or, Brad? And I'm like, no. In fact, the vast majority are not. Obviously, the ones that make it big, actors, writers, directors, of course, they're set for life. I mean, they have just like like you look at the average NFL career, it lasts 2.5 years. But the ones that really make it, play 10 seasons, and you get to that point where you're making fuck you money, so to speak. Basically, and certainly that's where I'm trying to get. But
I know it.
But who's not, right? I mean, but
Right.
in this, it comes down to that. It comes down to royalties because, you could look at the ratings and you can look at the number of episodes that aired on cable and network TV back in the day,
Yeah.
and you still can. So anything that goes to network, like if it's on NBC and then it, eventually reruns on, let's say, TBS, TNT, something like that, the writers know, their royalties work on that. But now with Netflix and Paramount Plus and Hulu and Disney Plus and everything else and Apple TV, the figures of how many people have watched it are kept. It's proprietary information, and it's kept secret from the actors and writers. And so now, people would get royalty checks. It would be 60, 70, 80, $90,000 a season or something, maybe more, maybe 200,000, 40,000, just depending on the amount of work. And so, of course, you're thinking, great, I'm making a great living. I'm taking care of I'm taking care of my family, and I'm living a solid middle class, maybe the lower end of the upper class lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Life is good. And now, I mean, these writers, Netflix and all of them keep it secret, and writers and actors and so on are getting, like, obviously the A-listers, yeah, they're getting a guaranteed upfront salary, 10 million, 9 million, whatever. And of course, so like example, like Taylor Sheridan, who created, and he's become a personal hero of mine. He created Yellowstone, 1883, Mayor of Kingstown, so on. Like, I mean, here's a guy that was living in a tent,
Yeah.
finally hit it big with Yellowstone and all these other spin-off shows. And not only that millions he's made with that, but Paramount just signed a $200 million deal with him,
Yeah.
for like the next 5. I mean, and I don't mean $200 million like that, like will fund the shows. I mean, like he will get $200 million. Like he's going to have like Conor McGregor type money and stuff now.
Yeah.
And
Some
so,
real fuck you type money.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, double fuck you kind of money.
Yeah. That's
like
that's like double what Joe Rogan made, and he's the number one podcast in the world, and he's got like the ultimate.
Exactly. Hank, if I get to that point, I promise you, man, you know what? I'm flying you out. We're celebrating.
Yes. Oh man, that
Steak,
would be great.
Lobster, anywhere you want to eat, man. We're
Oh
gonna
man,
party
you
till
know it. Oh man, that is so kind. I might take you up on that. And
you heard it here. Here's the evidence. Everyone heard it. People are gonna reach out to you like, hey, Hawk is like, he's just rolling in it, man. He's like Scrooge McDuck. Did he fly you out? He'd be like, no, that bastard hasn't. Like, where's my plane?
I got you.
Where's my G5, Hawk?
Where's my? I'm telling you. By the way, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Do you mind if I get into some WWE questions just real quick before I let you go?
Oh yeah, I mean, let's just start off. Let's get the saddest part out of the way. I don't want to say it like that. Let's take a moment.
Yes.
Bray Wyatt. I mean, it just breaks my heart. It's his family, his friends, everyone that knew him. I mean, what an amazing talent and just an amazing human being. And he was just such an amazing talent in the ring, and to just and I mean, my God, I think 2 days earlier, Terry Funk.
Yes.
Yeah,
I got to meet Terry a couple times, so super guy.
Such an awesome guy.
I know it. I
I
never got to meet Bray Wyatt, but I got to meet his dad, which we all know. Any wrestling fans know that is the IRS, from the early 90s. So yeah, I was involved. I actually commentated wrestling up until probably 2007, maybe. But I didn't. But I've been around. Like I said, I've been around a lot of different. I'm like you. I have a lot of different hats, but never had any mainstream success or anything like that. Never. But I've had my hat. But so when you were in, all right, post Tough Enough too. Were you involved with the WWE after that? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I was with the developmental program. I was at UPW,
Okay.
and going through the minors and stuff
Right.
and their whole developmental program and God and wrestling with the indie then the minors just like baseball are
Hmm.
not the most glorious scene, but it's where you cut your teeth. It's where
I,
you're in your stripes
I've been around it.
and improve your craft.
I've been around it.
And
Believe.
that's kind of when the whole uh when I saw the whole with Dwayne Johnson's rising success, The Rock, with Hollywood, and I was in Los Angeles, and all these opportunities kept coming up in the film and TV world, and UFC and MMA was exploding, and I finally realized, like, I was like, I reached a point where I thought it was like kind of like dating a girl where you like, I really really like this, but
Hmm.
I don't love it, and I guess from a fan point of view, I love it, but you get to this point where it's like, and you see football players do this, where they're just kind of over. They hang up the shoulder pads and stuff, and at just some point you're going, I'm ready to do something else with my life,
Hmm.
and I think and so wrestling ended up being this unique transition phase of my life where I landed in film and TV. I was already doing film and TV as a teenager and kid, but
Right.
really really doing it like for like it's one thing where it's just cute and fun as a kid, but like, I mean, this is my life. This is how I'm going to put food on the table and
Right.
have a family, et cetera, et cetera, and just the whole lifestyle. And so that really became my entire life afterwards. And but my time in wrestling was the people I got to meet, the people I got to work with. Um, the I was so blessed to even have that opportunity with WWE and
Hmm.
getting in through tough. I mean, I still, there's so many moments in your life, so many days that just come and go, and you can't even remember what they are. But there's just those days that are cemented, like they almost feel like they were yes. I mean, you can literally visually recall them,
Yeah.
and I'll never forget the day that they're like, "Hey, Hawk, you made it. You're on Tough Enough," and and I'm in Vegas, and they're like, "You did it," and like you got to go home and
Right.
get ready, and you're leaving for Los Angeles in like 9 days or something to begin filming, and your journey to the WWE begins, and I'm like out of thousands and thousands, and I thought I just remember just being like, holy shit, like
Yes. Did you?
like what have I got myself into?
I know it. Did you ever keep up with any of the your fellow cast members at
Oh,
posts?
we talk funny. We even have like a WhatsApp chat and like a Facebook chat,
Oh, really?
between all the like Kenny and Jesse and Jake, and we I would say there's always we always Danny and Pete and and Jackie, and so we probably have a good laugh. Oh God, uh, probably once every few weeks, just how are you guys doing and stuff. And I was actually trying to set up like a little a reunion for everyone. I was like, oh, it's like this all kind of started in Vegas. We should all get together in Vegas, and like
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. Some of these guys and girls have families now and kids. I'm like, look, I'm
Sure.
not talking about going gambling all night and boozing and
Right. Right.
Vegas. But I thought, I was like, at the least, we should go out and hit play some golf and go to the pool and relax and catch up.
Sure.
And everyone wanted to, and just people's schedules and life, it just wasn't able to pull it together.
Yeah. No. Sure. I get it. And somebody like Jackie Gator, she's probably the one who reached out the furthest post Tough Enough. I'd say she was the most successful. Like at least inside the ring or inside the company. Am I wrong? I mean,
I think well, within WWE. Yeah, I think the individual who my brother from another mother, I got to give it up to Kenny. I think I mean, he's still going strong. God, he was with
oh, so he's still
like
wrestling.
TNA for years, yeah, he's still wrestling. In fact, I think he just won the Intercontinental belt a couple nights ago, actually. So he,
With
with Ring of Honor.
Oh, really?
So he's still going. Yeah, he's still going strong. And so he's had and I just, if Kenny sees this, love you, man. Could not be more proud of you and the career you've had, and so on, and just love you to death, man. I need to see him in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's had the most successful like longevity. He's in fact he is the only one still wrestling.
Yeah. Well, I could see that because I mean he was pretty good shape back then. You can tell he's one of those guys that's like gonna always be in shape. But
no, he's kept an extremely great lifestyle and so on. I mean, he's a dad. Guy. He was on The Bachelor. Oh, I'm sorry, Bachelorette. That. He was on the Bachelorette and the Bachelorette in Paradise, and he's probably gonna be like, no, Hawk, you got it wrong. I think he was like one of the six or seven final guy. Like he made it down to like the final 6 or 7 before he didn't get a rose, and therefore he was sent home. And it was but
yeah, well, hey, it doesn't matter.
But when I heard, when he told me, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna be on the Bachelorette. I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, I'm actually gonna have to watch the Bachelorette now. Watch you. So
yeah,
I was watching the Bachelorette.
Hey, look, that's fine. I mean, hey, look, no judgment here. We support our friends no matter how, no matter how androgynistic it might come off a little bit for some guys out there. I'm secure enough in my masculinity to watch it, but I don't know about everybody else.
Hey, I'll say this: if I can be on, if I get an opportunity to be on Dancing with the Stars, I'll take it.
There you go.
I can dance. I can dance. Go. I think I would make it to like the top 5 before I finally got cut.
Yeah, definitely, Hawk. Well, I know I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna cut this because I know you got to get going. And
well, I got a few more. Like I said, I tell you what, if I got
I got an idea.
We'll keep it under 10 more minutes because I don't want to just cut abruptly.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And plus, I was going to invite you to come back in 3 months anyway, somewhere in November, December, if you're willing. We can do it any day of the week. We can do it any day of the week. I promise you.
Let's do. Off the top of my head, let's do November.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because December everybody's going to be a little bit busy, but any day of the week, you have my word. And now, time wise,
hey, I hope when I'm back on, I hope the strike is resolved.
That's why I want to talk to you.
Great, tell me about the movie because then I can tell you all about the movie and hopefully we're in the middle of filming. God, please. And then I can really tell you all about my TV show House of Fame and everything. Like I'm so excited for it. I'm really. It's my pride and joy just to give everyone an idea about the show.
Absolutely.
It's my creation. No. I can really dive a lot more into it, but it's Entourage, like the old, the Entourage TV show, on HBO. It's Entourage meets UFC.
I love it already.
And my partners, we actually have a pro wrestling TV show called The Arena.
Okay.
So, like I said, like I said, the money we've raised is going to cover multiple projects.
Right.
So, we're building a whole company here, and there's a lot that's going to be soon happening.
Absolutely.
Remember, Hank, we're doing this for the fuck you money, and so that we can fly you out. And you know what? I'll give you my word. We're filming. You're coming to set.
You know what? If you got the money, and fly me, I'll do it. You have my yes, absolutely.
We'll
do
a
it.
Live show on set. We'll figure out the logistics, but we'll make it happen.
Oh my man, that's what I'm saying. Plus, I want to next time I want to talk a little bit more about the wrestling and MMA as well again because, we're gonna leave you. We're gonna leave the audience hanging. We're gonna leave them hanging.
I like that. You know what? As I say, always leave your audience wanting more, and that's exactly what we're doing here, folks.
There you go, and well, that'll work. Well, I'm gonna end this, and then and hang on, Hawk. I'm gonna talk to you afterwards for a sec. So, thank you for being here, bro.
Man. Hey, to everyone watching, stay safe, stay healthy, stay cool in this god awful heat wave we're in. Hopefully, it'll be a little cooler in November when we talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. All right, here we go. Well, that was fun. Oh my goodness. I'm beat my expectations. He really did. I mean, I'm tickled to death that he got to talk to me because, man, I'm gonna tell you, good dude. When I talked to him, when I friend requested him a year ago, I was nervous about writing him on and reaching out to him. And what a fantastic person. He reminds me a lot of me in many aspects, except he's way better looking and more talented. And okay, we have nothing in common, but still. Anyway, but I'm gonna end this show now. Thank you for watching the Hank Russell Invitation. Later.